Okay, Tiffany, just so that you can kind of see where the prong collar needs to be, your carabiner is going to be on the D ring, which is the ring that doesn't move or swivel this way. The live ring attaches to the leash because it turns. So when the dog makes, if they decide they want to do a donut, if you're here, it twists and tightens the collar, whereas the live ring will actually swivel so that that doesn't affect the communication on the collar. So think dead ring to the D ring of the flat buckle collar. The live ring is going to hook to the leash, okay? And ideally, I would like for you to have a carabiner on both as a backup safety, because I have seen where you have the leash on the live ring, and through fumbling with the dog, this can actually get hooked or pushed like that in action, and then whoop, your dog is gone, okay? So ideally, you want a carabiner on the live ring and a carabiner on the dead ring, okay? But I want to make sure that you get the prong collar attached to Audrey without difficulty, but I also want you to see whether or not it's really too snug, or if it just feels too snug for you, okay? So Andy already has his flat buckle collar. Sit, good boy. And the chain part you want on the top of the head, so somewhere between ear and ear, and you want it up high on the neck here. Then your D-ring carabiner are attached for your safety of the dog, and then this goes to the leash. This is where I'm talking about that the live ring moves, okay? So if she's in full-on action and you're hooked up to the wrong one, this can twist and tighten the prongs, which is not what you want, okay? So if you see on Andy, it's all the way up here, right behind the ears. This is the weakest part of his neck. Therefore, I need the least amount of communication through the prong collar to get him to maneuver in whatever direction I want him to be. So you'll typically have a couple of inches, depending on how big a carabiner you have. There's some that are 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I think this may be close to a 3-inch carabiner. You can pick them up at TSC, Walmart, for about Home Depot for about $1 a piece. So then what you're able to do is get the lightest amount of communication to move your dog. You're not yanking and cranking, and you're doing it from a horizontal standpoint, because when I pull up, that's going to communicate that I want his butt to go down. So where you're actually leading your dog is actually telling him from a direction what you want him to do. Good boy. So if I pull here, he's going to come. And as soon as he comes into the direction I want, I give slack to the leash when I want him to sit and come up. So I don't know if you saw how quickly I released as his butt was going down. He learns that he's in charge of turning that pressure off. So if I continue to hold this up when his butt's down, then he says, why is the pressure still there? I'm not doing what she wants, so I'm going to stand up and do something different. So the communication here has to be snug so that you're using the least amount of pressure with your leash. Many people will have it down here or even down here where they can put it over the dog's face, and you don't want that. You want to be able to hook it on and off like that. And if you've not been using it, I want you to practice. Okay, break. I want you to practice doing this when you're not putting it on Audrey, okay? So I'm right-handed. So the squeezing points are going to be in my right hand because it's strongest. My left hand, I'm going to push up on whatever part of the prong you want to take off. So I'm going to push up to here, squeeze, and pull through. Then when I go to put it back in, I'm going to squeeze here, place it probably into one first, slide them together, and then it goes down. So push up to where you get this, squeeze, and pull out. So practice that until it feels silly to practice it, because you have a very short amount of time and attention span for the dog when you're putting it on the dog. You don't want them to get frustrated before you start the exercises, because they're like, come on, woman, get it on me. And if you get to that point, stop what you're doing, don't get frustrated, and give her 5 minutes to chill out, and then try again, okay? So, dead ring to D-ring of the flat buckle collar, live ring to the leash, okay? Ideally, we want a carabiner here. All right? All right, if you have any questions, let me know.